Well, I'm on the customized.
I got a mix.
It says customized thing. It says Fruit of the Loom. So
as long as you don't get
change
premium
the product, Brandon. If you click on the left where it says product, you can pick any shirt you want.
Brandon, you can literally change anything.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now.
All right.
But why
we'll be filming while you
podcast
while you place your order. We'll be filming while you're making your order.
Yeah,
we're not filming anything yet.
And then we go, hey Brandon, what's your pet peeve? And then it's always 10 seconds of silence.
Adjustable apron.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of 5 Idiots Talking Toys. This is going to be part 2 of our talk on our pet peeves in the collector hobby. The things that bother us the most as we go day to day in the groups, on eBay, on shops, as we're out there in the wild looking for collections. Just the things that bother us that we wanted to bring up to you and see if you feel the same way. We'd love to have you comment on this video and tell us what your pet peeves are in the collecting hobby. And please go to our YouTube channel and find the giveaway video for the HasLab Razor Crest. We're giving this vehicle away to anyone in the United States, free shipping, and we'll also work with you if you're an international winner on getting you the prize money. Maybe we'll sell it on your behalf. So find that video, subscribe to the channel, like it, and comment on that video to be entered. And come hang out with us at rogue5toys.com, where we put up items for sale all throughout the week, and we have live sales and posts. Now, guys, let's jump into part 2 of this. Who's got the next pet peeve?
What are you going to say, Chris?
I said I have another pet peeve that actually bothers me. And I think it bothers me because I'm a seller and, like, I sell a lot. So when I have a sale, it's like the seller's duty to reach out to the person who's buying the item with an invoice, a price, you know, your PayPal, shipping, all that stuff. But I feel like the buyer should be reaching out. When I buy an item from somebody and then the buyer goes, PM me. No, I just bought the item from you. You should be PMing me. Why am I PMing you? Isn't it the seller's job? Why do you guys do this? So ridiculous. Charles sits back there just waiting.
As soon as Chris started talking, Charles just leaned back in his chair.
Idiots.
Because we're all, like, that one could go either way, you know?
Because I don't really care who PMs who. If I'm the buyer, I'm going to send a PM. And if I'm the seller, I'm going to send a PM. So
yes, that's fine. But when you're buying an item and then the seller goes, PM me. No, I'm not going to. You PM me. I just bought the item from you. You PM me.
I just send him a PM.
Can we PM each other?
I love how there's him and 4. So 4 people didn't say anything. And he just picks out me. And he's like, you didn't say anything. I can't believe you leaned back. Lean back. Look at Brandon.
Charles,
He's not even looking at the screen. Shane is, I don't know what he's doing. He's scratching his back. And John's eating cereal still.
I'm in the middle of talking, and all of a sudden I look at Brandon. He's on mute. Charles leans back like this. I know that he's not going to comment. And then John's eating cereal, and Shane is the only person who's actually paying attention. So while I'm even talking, I already know, all right, this is not going to end well.
Shane's busy on hour 10 of designing more shirts.
I'm just laughing. This is the funniest episode we've done in a long time.
All right, I've got another one. Since we're getting long in the tooth here. This one's everyone's favorite. The grading scale. This will grade high.
How do you
or very good to near mint plus. I know we all use that on our sales page, but other people, I think, use and abuse it, and that is a very big pet peeve of mine. When I look at a figure on a sales page and they're saying near mint, it's mint, we'll grade high, and I'm like, really? Are you a grader? Do you know how high that will grade? You know, are you're throwing a number out there on what it's going to grade? So if I get it back in the mail and it's not that, are you going to give me my money back? You know, Did you put on your glasses today? Can you see that that figure has mold on the arm? Has the plastic cancer? Like there's a Storm Luke Storm up for sale not too long ago. We'll grade high. We'll grade high with the plastic cancer on the arm there too, huh? Okay, sure. You know, like, give me a break. Don't tell me what's going to grade high or what, you know, send me a bunch of pictures. I'm almost done buying loose figures, you know, from random people that aren't, you know, don't have the same amount of analness that I do. There's only a few people I'll buy figures from. They're about as anal as I am with figures, and that's few and far between.
Yeah, you have to be really careful as a seller, because as soon as you, you know, you could say what you want about your figures, but people are going to, you know, a lot of times trust what you're saying. You're holding the figure yourself. As soon as you take pictures, you zoom in with the iPhone, whatever you use to take your shots. We all know this as sellers ourselves. That camera will pick up stuff you cannot easily see with your eye. And when somebody zooms in on that photo, they're going to see, you know, the defects on the figure. And those are defects that come from the factory sometimes, just overpaint, underpaint, you know, stuff like that. Like, you just, you know, you're going to be called out on it because those photos pick up everything. So don't, you know, over promise if you're not really, really confident as a seller.
You also have to actually send stuff in for grading, and then, you know, throw it in your mind. Hey, I'm going to send this Rees in, and I think he's going to get a 90. And then you get it back and he's an 85. Okay, you were wrong. So after like hundreds and hundreds of times of doing this, you can at least, you know, maybe you're, you know, closer than most people, but some people say this will grade high and they don't even grade. They have no clue what's going to happen with it.
Well, the truth is you don't know if the guy who's going to grade the figure, whether he got into a fender bender on the way to the office that morning, whether he got laid the night before, whether he was drunk, still drunk from the weekend bender. You never know what's the guy's mood is going to be. It's a subjective thing, right? Grading figures.
These guys don't work at McDonald's. They are a grader. That's what they do. It doesn't matter what happens the night before or that morning. Their day is the same. You can look at that figure, and if it, you know, looks like a 90 from their, you know, from their scale, they're not going to switch it because their, you know, night before was bad. I don't believe that.
Chris, what do you think about that? You and your brother both grade a lot of figures, and so I'm asking you seriously because you know, you've submitted a lot of figures. You, at this point, the last, you know, couple of years, you certainly have an expectation of what you send in, and then, you know, you get back whatever you get back. It's subject. I mean, I feel like it sounds like it's a subjective thing. Like, you know, while they certainly have a stringent criteria, there's a chance you could send the figure in 1 month, and the next month, if you secretly sent the same figure in, it might get a different grade.
Listen, most of it is subjective. It is. But when you see people selling loose figures, calling them mint or near mint, will grade high, they don't know what they're talking about, especially if they've never graded before in their life. So how can they call something mint if they don't know or say this is going to grade high if they've never graded before in their life? So the problem that you find, and I'll say it, it's on the IC, is that when a certain figure gets listed, and let's say it's like an R2 pop-up and it sells for $1,000. Yeah, maybe a mint R2 pop-up that's going to grade an 85 and up will sell for $1,000. The next guy that sells his crusty yellow R2 pop-up that's been sitting in a urinal for 20 years, he thinks he's going to get, you know, $1,000 now because he calls it mint. But the reality of it is, most of these figures that you're buying on these groups, they're grading 75 to 80. That's the reality. A 75 grade to 80 grade, and they're paying full price for it.
And that's an average grade, right? Like that's, you know, a decent figure.
Correct. That's a decent figure. I'm not taking anything away, but those are the ones that they call mint. And they'll grade 75 to 80 because they do not know. There are certain things you should be looking for on every figure. It has its own little common denominator to look at. So when they call them mint, they're buying average figures. And In no way am I a professional whatsoever. I do know what I'm looking at. I do send stuff in for grading, but that's why my price is always condition dependent. So everyone automatically thinks, oh, a gunner's 350. Well, not every gunner is 350. A gunner can be 300. It could be 275. It could be 325. If the emblems are rubbed off, there's all different things you need to look at, but they automatically say, oh, it's 350.
Yeah, and I'll give you guys some props real quick, because for Rogue 5 Toys, you guys list a lot of stuff. You've graded things for a long time now. You do have a really good sense of what to look for, the things that will be focused on by the graders, and you have a good sense of the the general landing spot in terms of a grade for a given figure. And the rest of us, we talk all the time. We'll send you photos of some of the stuff we have and say, what is your opinion? Because we know you know your stuff in terms of grading. So for any folks that are watching the show, listening to the show, and you come to Rogue 5 Toys on Facebook, rogue5toys.com, you really can trust what Chris and Charles put up there. If they tell you, they're not going to guarantee you a grade. Nobody's going to. But if they tell you something is really nice, or they'll suggest that it'll be a certain grade, you have to know who you're buying from. You buy from somebody trustworthy if you care that much about being as close as you can to that grade, that grade area.
This topic was actually brought up yesterday on the Vintage Alliance. People were talking about like the last 17 and how much the prices go for. And someone said, hey, what do the prices go for a last 17 and the first 77? So I literally give out my comment of how much I think it's going to be. And then I have one guy who's trying to take a shit on me and basically tell me that I'm absurd and saying, what is this, April Fool's Day? The guy has never sold a thing in his life. He has no idea. So I asked him, give me a breakdown of the prices of what you think they're going to sell for. Let's just put it this way. If the last 17 was in his collection, they would be called Forever 17, because he would forever never sell them at those prices.
So I actually saw that post. He didn't try to take a right on you. I actually saw him live on you. Like, I saw the coming out and going on you.
I love how every single time, no matter what I say or do, my brother is the always one. He has to be the opposite. Always.
No, he was supporting you.
No, I'm not the opposite. I'm actually not the opposite. You were
supporting me in a way by telling me that someone is live taking on my head.
You were 100% right on your price on what you said, but he did take a on you.
Yeah, he took a on me because, like I said, he saw an R2 pop-up sell for, let's say, one day $1,200. So he automatically thinks that every R2 pop-up is $1,200. And you try to explain to him, like, dude, most of the stuff you see is average. An average R2 pop-up is not $1,000 to $1,200. Those are like the mint top of the line that is going to grade 85 and higher. What you see on an everyday basis is a 75 grade to an 80 grade, and those are around $700 to $800. It is what it is. You just can't argue with that.
He tried to.
Well,
yeah, I mean, occasionally you're going to see a figure sell in one of the groups that is literally, from a cracked bubble or something like that. And it's understandable for that person to say, like, listen, cracked bubble off the card, should grade well. It's never been touched. There's some circumstances like that. But of course, some of these people are more novice. They're going to see that, not understand the difference, and go, oh, yeah, I just saw one sell the other day. I know what the price is. Like, no, there's some circumstances where it is literally, a really, really clean figure, and the person who's selling knows how to describe that.
And
there's that don't do grading that have a really good eye for things. And not just saying it, but Brandon has a really good eye. He's actually so anal with his figures.
Yeah, that's why it's so hard to find figures, because I look at them and I'm just like, one little thing will drive me crazy on them. And I'm like, nope, can't take this figure.
He's so anal, he doesn't sell.
I hoard all the good stuff.
Well, you know, the thing too is the price fluctuates all the time. Prices fluctuate, whether the popularity of the figure or whatever. Like you guys remember I sold a Luke Stormtrooper for $1,000. Maybe it was $1,100 at one of my auctions.
I remember.
Hey, would you get a loose? Would people pay $1,100 for a loose Luke Stormtrooper right now? No way.
Nope.
Even at a live sale.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Brandon's been collecting longer than me, but now that I'm, where I'm at with collecting, I get where you can start getting really anal as a collector, because you'll have a shelf or shelves full of figures, and then the game is always trying to upgrade what you have, right? Like you start somewhere, you try to get a little bit more perfect figure. And so now I look at some of them on my shelf, and I'm like, I pick them up like, oh, let me see which ones I need to upgrade. And I'll look at a figure on my shelf and go, I can't even believe this is on my shelf. Like what? Like it was obviously a placeholder. It filled, the slot. But yeah, some of the ones now that have, that I have on the shelf have such imperfections. I'm like, wow, I can't even believe it took this long to upgrade it. Like, why did I have this on the shelf? It's a junk, to me now.
You certainly don't have to be a grader to know what's nice. I'm not saying that. That is, though, part of my pet peeve is that everyone loves to just write the word mint, 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 but they don't really know what the word mint means.
What do you guys think about the word minty? Oh, everybody's face just fell.
Sounds like it's like mint from overseas. It's like an overseas word for mint. It's mint.
It's minty, like it can almost be mint, but not really.
It kind of belongs in the Book of Boba Fett show with the 5 colored speeder bikes.
So I hate to go back, and I hate to be on Chris's side, but he did say something that is like 100% right, and that's most of these figures on all of these sites are 75 to 80s. Like once in a while, you'll find something that's higher than an 80. But once you have that in your head that like most people are all of them are selling the average 75 to 80 grade figures. That's most of what's for sale. So
that's why everyone automatically assumes that a gunner is selling for $350, that their gunner should be for $350, but it's not. Everything is based on condition. Price is all based on condition. If you want to sell a Luke Hoth for $75 and this thing is mint, you can get it all day long because Luke Hoth is a very hard figure to get. But when you see everyone using that standard price of 25 to 30, yet he's missing paint in his rubs and he's discolored everywhere, that's kind of where like people go wrong.
Yeah. All right. Who else has got something else that's eaten in there?
I've got one. You know what really grinds my gears is when people put the weapon in the hand when they list it for sale or on an auction, and they jam that blaster or that saber in that painted hand, and it just screws up the figure even more. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that's an absolute huge no-no for me. If I even am buying a loose figure, which is really rare nowadays, if I see like the accessory in the hand automatically, I don't buy it.
What's even worse is a live sale, and they're talking the figure up like it's a 99 freaking grade, and they shove the weapon right into the hand as they're speaking. It's like, there goes the grade. It was a 99.
What do you guys think about people doing putting the accessories in the hands for their own collections? I mean, obviously the answer is you could do whatever you want, but if you want to display them, maybe they're not graded figures, they're not maybe even gradable figures, but they want to display them with that action pose with the accessories. What are your feelings there?
Don't do it. You can't do it. You're not supposed to be doing it. I don't want to see you do it because you're going to ruin the hands of the figures. I'm telling you, look at their hands. A lot of the hands are all painted. You're shoving the weapons in there. First of all, it's supposed to be really tight and snap in there. That's how they were made. So you know what happens? One day you're going to sell these figures, right, Shane? And you're going to sell them, and you're going to remove that Rebel Blaster out of his hand. And what do you see on the floor right under Han's feet? You see the paint from his hand, and then you're going to look back and you're going to say, you know what? I remember that video we did with Charles, and he told me that 37 years ago, I shouldn't have shoved this Rebel Blaster in Han's hand.
I like how the paint just falls off the figure's hand onto the floor. But yeah, every single figure. I have a couple that are really like mint, like out of a, off a bubble or out of value that I don't have the weapons in, because I am starting to put some figures aside that I could be graded. But yeah, for my display figures, every single figure on the shelf has a weapon in their hands. I love it. I love looking at them with their proper weapons. I don't want to see the weapons sitting on the shelf at their feet. I can't even see it.
They're not holding their weapons, though. Have you watched the movies? Han's not just walking around like this, like, oh, and like Luke Skywalker's holding his lightsaber everywhere he goes. No, he's not holding
Charles, have you seen these movies?
Yeah.
They're using weapons the entire trilogy.
Why does only your whole collection need their weapons out? Like, what's happening in your house that, like,
I don't want a collection of what they look like when they're having lunch.
Charles watches.
I want to see them in action.
Charles watches the sequel trilogy where Luke's walking around with no lightsaber.
Have you watched Star Wars? All the stormtroopers don't have their blasters in their hand walking around. Your stormtroopers are sitting on your shelf. They're on their.
Did he just say the stormtroopers walk around with no blaster?
No. They have their blaster. It's in their holster. They're not walking around it in their hand.
False.
They're walking around everywhere with it in their hand.
Am I allowed to say something or no?
Only if you agree with me.
They're actually holding it like this.
Yeah.
They go. It's not.
No, they're not. They're
holster.
not walking around the whole movie. They're walking around with it in their hands.
Charles, this coming weekend, what you should do is you should sit down with your kids, and if you should subscribe to Disney Plus first, and then they have all the movies on there. You can watch them.
I have them, and trust me, my house is not that dangerous that all of my figures need to be armed. They all need to be holding their weapons. Like, what's going on in your house that all of them need their weapons?
Charles,
John Productions has raised his hand.
Chris, you had a question.
I just want to go out on the limb here and say that I completely disagree with Charles. I don't think he's ever seen any of the Star Wars movies. They're always holding their accessories. If Shane wants to buy loose figures and display them with, the accessory, I'm completely cool with it. Just don't put it up for sale holding the accessory, because then I'm not buying it.
Wrong.
If John Walden wants to have B-Wings, all 16 of them, holding on to an Endor blaster, I'm cool with it. It's your collection. You pay for it. But if you're selling one of them, take it out of that hand and show me what that hand looks like, because I want to see the hand.
You know what the hand's going to look like?
Yeah.
It's going to look like someone missed the paint.
It's going to look like...
It came off. It's on the floor. Shane has so many little speckles of paint all over his shelves. His shelves are just like every color of paint going down the shelf. They're all falling off.
All of my figures are from the Rainbow Factory. There's just paint everywhere, every color of the rainbow.
So
let me just interject real quick. Speaking of John Walden and his B-Wing pilots, did anyone else here know how many R5s John Walden has in his collection? You guys see that picture the other day? That was awesome. I had no idea he had it set up like that.
But ask him how many red bars he has.
John, how many red bars do you have?
I think I'm down to one.
Yeah, there was a picture, Chris, of John
one.
with all of his, John's display with all of his B-wing pilots, and they're all paired up with R5s.
I don't think I even saw that at all. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's on TikTok.
That's where it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, well, so speaking of, anybody who's still tuned in for this episode and has not fallen asleep yet, we are now on TikTok. So definitely go check us out there, 5 Idiots Talking Toys. We're on Instagram. We've got these things humming along with some activity all throughout the week. So we're putting some fun stuff up there. So check us out on all the socials. And certainly subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please let us know what you think about this episode and tell us what your pet peeve in the collecting hobby is. We want to hear it.
So
who else has anything else to add?
If we're going to end it, I'm going to end it with probably one of the largest, most controversial ones. Pet peeve is who has to pay the fees for goods and services.
Oh, boy.
It's a fight that everyone has. Is it a seller? Should the seller have to eat that 4%, or should the buyer have to pay that 4%?
This is a long debated thing. I think this was first mentioned in the book of Deuteronomy, the PayPal fees. This is since the dawn of time. This has been a discussion, a debate.
It's actually a very, very simple answer. And the answer is, if you're a seller and someone is buying, they pay the 4% fees. And the reason is because if you don't, every single seller is going to make the prices go up anyway. So if you don't want to pay the 4%, that's fine. But a $30 figure is not $30 anymore. It's $32. And a $100 figure is not $100 anymore. It's $104. So do you want everyone to just raise their prices up on the figures? Or do you want to give someone an option of goods and services or friends and family? It's very simple because every single person is going to raise their price on every figure. Everyone will do it.
Yeah, and that's been part of the debate is some people that are against the buyers paying the fee. One of the arguments they make is you're the seller, just raise, price your figures accordingly to cover that fee. And then what happens is what Chris just described. Then the prices of everything go up across the board.
Yeah, so everyone's already getting priced out of Star Wars collecting already. People are already complaining. They're going to complain even more when people start listing everything for a couple of dollars to $5 more.
Some people, I think 4% is the flat. That's what most people do. I've seen some people do 5%. I've seen 6%. And then I've seen 2.3%. Where do they get these numbers from? Who figures out, that it's 2.3 for everybody? Sometimes at 4%, I still lose money. And sometimes at 4%, it's right where it needs to be.
So most of those Luke Jedis that I sold the other day that were overstock, if someone bought them goods and services and the 4%, I lost 20 cents on every single one of them. So I still lost money on them.
Yeah, and not to, crow or toot our own horns or anything, but we have a sales page. The people that generally buy from us, there's always first timers, but a lot of people are repeat buyers. They attend our live sales or buy off of the post that we make. And, we're a trustworthy group. Most people pay us friends and family. I mean, there's a percentage, and there's some people that have their reasons, whether they use a certain type of payment through PayPal and they need to use, goods and services. But we're not sellers who are crying about it, because we mostly don't have to worry about it. But that just goes along with knowing who you buy from. And once you buy from a trustworthy seller, you might feel more comfortable doing friends and family going forward. But you have to do it on a case-by-case basis, depending on who you're buying from and where.
Oh, of course. And if you're going to buy something for $7,000, you should never send someone thousands of dollars, friends and family, Not even if like you know the person. For me to send someone like $5,000, friends and family, it's just why? Just
Well, you know what, Charles, let's make that even a little bit more relatable, because when you're talking about 5,000, 7,000, you're talking about buying collections or insanely hard to find high graded items.
So
For the
I-
average buyer, you're buying something for $200, $300, and that would be like a more expensive figure for you. If you never bought from the person before, certainly don't do friends and family. But let's say you're even buying a few figures and it's going to be $700. Even if you know that person or you bought from them one time before, don't send somebody $700 without any protection. If you're not really, really confident in that person and you bought from them a whole bunch of times, just protect yourself, right? Be smart.
well, yeah. I mean, like a short V, it's $30. You're gonna pay friends and family. A red bar, $1,000. You might want to pay goods and services for something like that. Something rare, like a rare piece, like an R5 red bar.
Or
Short V,
Vicks.
not rare at all. $30. Friends and family. You lose the money, whatever. You lose it.
Whose pet peeve was the term rare? It was that John. That was you.
That was me. Yeah.
Is the red bar rare? Like we all have one, so is it rare?
No, it's not rare. It's not rare. It's not common.
I have to admit that I bought the Toxic Limbs Bosk. It was $4. I sent it to friends and family.
And you still don't have it, so keep laughing.
No, I already got it in.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's
I
already.
thought it was going to grading.
I did. I got it in, and then I sent it into AFA for.
Oh, you did. Okay, I thought it was going straight there. Got it.
Obviously, one of us five is not monitoring the TikTok account because we have a video of the Toxic Limbs Bosk on TikTok.
When did that go up? Because maybe I did see it, but I'm trying to. If I didn't look in the last days,
He doesn't even watch our podcast. He's been busy with the t-shirt shop.
that's right.
Oh, 9 hours worth of t-shirt time.
And when you guys are getting those t-shirts in and all the people are messaging you how great the shirts are, you're going to be thanking me.
They're fantastic. Look at this one. It's my jersey.
What are you talking?
These fucking toys.
What are you talking about? The shirts, Shane? What shirts?
So we can tease this because, by the time this airs, it might be live by then already. John Walden started a merch shop for the podcast, and we've been playing around with it, and we have some logo designs, and so we are just about to the point where the shop is ready. We've all done an order for ourselves so we can check out the merch and see what we like. And there's John. John, say something.
All right, check out the hat. You can get it designed however you want, but I like the little
understated one.
By the time this airs, it will already be live. I hope.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, because it's gonna be middle of May.
Chris, what do you got there?
I have a 5 Idiots Talking Toy thimble hat. I call it the new thimble.
It doesn't look bad. I like it.
John, this thing looks like a common head.
Well, you bought a hat, and your head is the size of a Honda Civic. I mean, like,
Is that the 2-door or the 4-door?
That's the two-door. Two-door.
you obviously have to cut out him throwing the hat on and saying it sucks.
No, but the fact that you said he's got a head the size of a Honda Civic is that much funnier.
It stays in. I'll edit it.
Yeah, Chris, you have to put the hat on and just say it's a little tight.
I already.
So we can edit that together.
So what's that? Let me guess. That hat that you're wearing right now, that's a 7 3/4, isn't it?
7 3/8.
That was close.
You don't mind it?
No,
Mine.
7 1/8. 7 1/8.
7
I
1
think that's the size I wear.
Mine's
That's the same size I
Seven.
wear. Why does your head look so much bigger?
What size is yours, Charles?
7
6 7/8.
6 and 7.
Oh, that's like you have the same size head as your son.
Oh, yeah. We share hats.
So the shop will likely be live by the time this is airing, but we're going to have some T-shirts for the guys, sweatshirts. We're going to have mugs, stickers, some other
Fanny
accessories.
packs, fanny
Yeah,
packs
hats.
and aprons.
And we'll have stuff for the ladies as well, and for kids and toddlers as well too. So we'll share the details in the description of this video when we have it. Check us out there, guys. A fun episode, a lot of laughs, pet peeves, things that bother us on a daily basis. I feel like this is a bit of a therapy session.
I don't feel any better, Shane. If anything, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
He's all riled up.
I'm grabbing another glass of alcohol after this.
I want people to comment in the comment section what their pet peeve is too.
Yes, please. If you put your blaster in your figure's hand, comment.
Yeah, that's a good one. We should do it. We should even throw a poll up of who displays their figures with the blasters and without. Again, guys, a fun episode. Let's remind everybody we are giving away that HasLab Razor Crest vehicle, that gigantic vintage collection vehicle. So find that video on our YouTube channel, subscribe to the channel, and like that video and comment on it to be entered to win. We are at this moment well over halfway there. We have a subscriber goal of 2,500 subscribers, and once we hit that goal, we're going to be giving away that prize to a random subscriber, random follower. Also, please check us out on Facebook. 5idiotstalkingtoys.com will get you there. And our collector's page is rogue5toys.com, also on Facebook. You can come on over there, have some fun with us, buy some items, read some jokes, some memes. We have a good time there. And again, for the folks who are listening, who are strictly on the pod crew and don't watch us on YouTube, come on over to YouTube as well and check out all the videos that we put out in between the weekly full episode that we put out that you're listening to right now. All right, guys. Thanks very much, everyone. We will check you on the next episode, and we thank you for listening. Take care.
Near mint, I am not.